Am I friends with the wind, or will I bend to its whim? I regret to admit I'm just not meant for all this. Finding myself, but somehow turn to hiding. I for a spell thought it won't hurt to quit. Think I must have been stripped down to my skeleton wings. Every upcoming sin's already etched on my skin. Finding myself has somehow turned to lying. Telling myself that I deserve to quit. Can't erase my yesterday, or the still to sends my way. It's my time. Gonna learn to fly, fly. I'm not friends with the wind, doesn't matter, I'll make my own breeze. All my feathers will sing along in perfect harmony. My heart is to flutter, even at the clear blue horizon. Now all of my colors decorate the skies above. Can't erase my yesterday, or the stealth that sends my way. It's my time. Gonna learn to fly, fly. I won't erase my yesterday. I won't erase my name from my mistakes. It's my time. I have learned to fly, fly.
Testing, mic check. Cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns. Hello, friendos. My name is Nez, and we are once again back at it again for some more Arknights, because today we're gonna be doing the beginning of our story reading for episode 15, Dissociative Recombination. It is time to finally get into the thick of things, to finally address the elephant in the room. What will happen to kal'tsit? How will Monster take humanoid form? And does Hypergriff finally have the balls to permanently kill off a playable character? If history has anything to say about that, no, they do not. Whatever happens to kal'tsit in this episode, in this chapter, I am 99% sure it's not going to be permanent. We've had 2 playable character deaths so far in Arknights, with both Shu, and I'm not even sure Eblana even counts, But both of them, well, Shu, at least, it's confirmed that she died, was brought back 5 minutes later because she had another storyline to go through. With Eblana though, Eblana was more of, we have an unreliable narrator who's just getting fancy with their words. But overall, Eblana didn't actually die, more or less. Oh, she died for her sins and came back resurrected. Not too sure about that. However, kal'tsit. kal'tsit so far is arguably one of the main characters of Arknights. One of the most important protagonists of Arknights. kal'tsit is also Lowlight's OC. Lowlight's original OC. Now, if there's one character in the game that will die first, that will have a permanent, lasting death with repercussions on the entire story, it's going to be kal'tsit. However, I still don't think that'll happen. Mainly because history has shown that Hypergraph doesn't have the balls to actually do that. All playable characters in this game so far has had plot armor, unbreakable plot armor for 6 years straight. Will kal'tsit be the first playable character to permanently leave the story as in a death? Or is it just gonna be another cop-out? The reason why I think it's just gonna be another cop-out, whatever happens to kal'tsit in this chapter, I don't know, she gets kidnapped by Priestess or something, she sacrifices herself to give monster form, it's gonna be temporary. Because as far as we've known, the bloodline of combat skin, kal'tsit's bloodline of combat skin, the skin line which shows operators in the prime of their lives, either past or future, the bloodline of combat skins have almost always been canon, with the slight asterisk of Scotty, because Scotty is from a different timeline. And as far as we've known about Monster taking on independence ever since kal'tsit's bloodline of combat skin was released. That was around 2 years ago. We've known about this for more than 2 years. But we've also known about how kal'tsit will actually leave the story of Arknights. We've already seen kal'tsit's final scene with Rhodes Island. But this is not kal'tsit. Okay. As far as we've known, kal'tsit is going to be there for when Terra gets assimilated by Originium and Rhodes Island eventually needs to leave on the Ark. And she greets both Amiya, Doctor, and Monster a final farewell as she stays behind on Terra, or wherever this assimilated location is. We haven't even left Terra, so this is the only place she could be. So whatever happens in this episode, in this chapter, I'm not gonna fucking fall for it. We know she's going to be back later on in the story, and I still feel like there's way more things to do with kal'tsit. The best time to kill kal'tsit would most likely be when they wrap up everything about her character and story. Because I don't want them to kill kal'tsit when her story's not even done yet. So far, we've had the Doctor's story tied up with Theresa and Amiya. But kal'tsit has been put on the back burner ever since her last event. So we still need to address the closing of her arc, and if they could successfully and satisfyingly close out kal'tsit's story, then I wouldn't be opposed to them permanently killing her off. But they're not gonna do that. I don't believe for a second that Hypergraph has the balls. I don't believe for a second that Lowlight has the balls to kill off kal'tsit. Even if it's his OC, and he as her creator has every right to do so. to kill off her character. Kal'tsit exists as more than Hypergriff's original OC. What? Chai tea? Original OC. Chai tea? That's like saying TT. I don't believe. I absolutely do not believe this will be the last time we see Kal'tsit. But it'll probably make a good excuse for whatever happens to her to finally introduce and integrate Monster's independence into the storyline. I don't know how Monster's gonna fit into the future of Arknights aside from this is Kal'tsit's new form where they break the cycle of reincarnation. I don't know about that. We've seen M3 in Enfield. M3 is also another elephant in the room if they're gonna try to break Kal'tsit's cycle of reincarnation here and now in episode 15. How we're gonna connect that to M3 and Enfield because they exist and they don't seem to be the same character as Monster? I don't know. We'll find out. Also, Priestess. We're finally gonna have a first-hand experience with the woman herself, the other scientist that developed Originium and inadvertently caused all the pain and suffering on modern Terra. Priestess is about to enter the story. We've entered a new era in Arknights. We're done with all of this political on-the-ground bullshit. We're heading into cosmic. We're heading into eldritch territories involving demons, involving space, involving throne worlds. Last time we saw Priestess was when Doctor was in the limbo between the real world and the Originium Sea. Doctor slipped into Priestess's throne world where it seems that she's been watching everything going on. And I don't know. Will she be an antagonist? Judging from the gameplay, she's playing an antagonist role, at least. So there's that. Will Rhodes Island make it out of this? I wonder. You know how hard it is to have stayed spoiler-free of this fucking chapter for 6 months? Very hard. You can't... Sometimes you couldn't just avoid the spoilers being thrown at your face by the Arknights community. So I wonder if Rhodes Island will make it out of this alive. Ooh, Anyway, that's it for our pre-story discussion. It is time to finally get into things. It is time to start episode 15 of the main theme of Arknights, Dissociative Recombination. Let's start with 15.1. The end of past and present. Tells with silence the last light breaking and the still hour is come of the sea tumbling in harness. Let's turn up the music. And I will take a sip of my coffee. Hold up. Just gonna make sure all the audio is okay. Okay. Everything's good, not dropping frames. We'll be in here for a ride. Universe. How should we interpret this word? With mathematics, physics, faith, imagination. We exhausted our minds attempting to define this still unfamiliar word in a variety of languages, and arrogantly claimed to have mastered true knowledge. So why are most of us silent when destruction is so near? You cannot turn back from knowledge, since we have glimpsed the partial truths of countless fallacies. It is only natural that we cannot retreat into the darkness of ignorance and ignore the advent of the end. I think perhaps I've touched on the key to resolving this ultimate question. Use the language you and I created, Doctor. First, lines in the chapter we got from Priestess. Okay, got it. Just heading straight into things. Wait a minute. Is this a flashback or is this during the Londinium War? It's time for this war to end, Doctor. The purple flames ignited by that Draco have accelerated the course of the war. Once the Exemplars and the Ducal Alliance's troops push onto Nezelem's final stronghold, our goal of concluding this war will finally be within reach. But Dr. Kelsey, how long will it take for us to cover this short stretch? There's no way to tell, Amia. Londinium Outskirts Battlefield, wreck of the... come on, Yo-Star. Yo-Star! First few lines of the chapter, you couldn't even proofread it.
Originium. Bloody Originiums really chopped this battleship in halves. I have to remain here and continue to fight with the local garrison. Sorry, kid. Can't go with you.
New character. Wait a minute! Hold up. Okay. We've seen this bunny girl silhouette before. This is the bunny girl that we saw with a lot of floating spikes, and I think she was also peering into a different dimension during PV4. Back then, when we first saw that PV, the initial theories were it's Frost Nova from a different timeline. Nope, this is not Frost Nova. It is an infected bunny girl during the Londinium crisis. This whole time we've seen nothing but ruins and dead. No garrisons at all. Also, please don't call me kid. The monastery's already celebrated my coming of age. Monastery? Is she... Monastery? Is she Laterano?
You remind me of my daughter. See the light shining up there? That's part of Her Grace the Duke of Caster's Gloriana. That gun's still working, which means the news I got from the broadcast is true. My squad served the Duke, so I have to go back.
Your wounds.
I can walk, since you helped me patch me up. But are you sure you want to go back to the city? It's the most polluted place there is. The active Originium there will be the death of you.
The bishop told me that the kind person who saved me from the mines went through hell and back to deliver me all the way to the monastery. The bishop? What's going on here? The bishop? Either she's of the Lateran religion or the Church of the Deep? Huh? So I knew from an early age that salvation never comes without a cost. Don't worry about me, the clergy taught me many ways to keep myself safe. As long as I can save one more person, anyone before I reach my end.
To be frank, this is the first time I've seen a cleric as devout as you. Your kind heart is the pride of Victoria.
Bishop says faith is not at all for pride or glory. The faithful believe with sincerity that good deeds will better this land.
Better this land? Maybe. But anyway, thanks, Locatus, for everything. Could you help me out one last time, kid? If you make it back to the city, if my family and my daughter's still there, please tell her that Papa's always protected her.
My man, you are going to die. Victorian soldier struggles to raise his injured arm and gives a non-standard salute to the goddess, before calmly turning towards the distant wreckage and vanishing into the thicket of Originium. My man, you are dead. Goddess looks to the faint light emanating from the ship's gun and cannot help but sigh. Artillery sounds in the distance and the tiny goddess continues towards the city on the horizon, Londinium. I thought we wrapped up the Londinium saga. I thought all the epilogues were over. Just one more epilogue, bro. I swear, just one more epilogue. I hear the cannon fire too, Doctor. Madame Catherine's crawlers already assaulting the Nezeru's front. But will the war
end once we beat them, and the innocents who've suffered, what will happen to them? There's no way to save every single life in the war, Mia. What we can do is help the Londiniers end this misery as soon as we can. And that means the Nezeru aren't our ultimate problem.
It's Theresis. By the end of the Londinium saga, Theresis still had the original Originium, which supposedly was created by both Doctor and Priestess. The source of all of Terra's problems, past and future. Nameless Londinium Refuge.
Mary, Davy, please don't tell anyone this kid is hiding in here. I met him at the city walls and he has...
Oh wait, no, this is the infected girl.
I met him at the city walls and he has nowhere to go. His parents are Londiniers, he said, and he met you two in the park a long while ago, yes?
New sprite? For a child? A frightened child? Are you sarcasm? You're sarcasm.
I don't remember. You helped us and I promised to help you, but he's not you.
God damn it, kid! We're in the middle of a war! This sarcasm kid means no harm. Surely.
Thank you. He'll just ride here and won't run off or make a sound. I guarantee he won't give anyone a fright.
Nods quickly.
I'll be back soon. I promised someone I'd find his daughter. It's impossible for me to protect you out there when there's so many hostiles. Sorry I couldn't find anywhere better for you to settle down. I've helped quite a lot of people here though, so I trust these kids to keep you safe.
I don't trust these Londinium kids to keep this sarcasm kid safe. We saw what happened during Siege's event. We saw what happened to the sarcasm. They were eventually all run off from the city. The tiny sarcasm tugs sharply at the goddess's arm, but touches the pointy Originium crystals instead. He pulls back his hand on reflex.
Sorry, when I was with my pa and ma, we rarely came into contact with infected. I'll come back for you.
This kid is not making it out of this scene. The goddess is not gone for long. You immediately hit us with the sad, melancholic music after I said the kid won't be making it out of the scene. When she arrives at the soldier's home as directed, there's nothing left. But letters found in the ruin tell her soldier's daughter joined a force rebelling against the sarcasm in the city, the Exemplars. It would be a wild coincidence if she was... No, it can't be. I was thinking to the youngest exemplar, which eventually stole the crown during Siege's event. But she was already part of the exemplars before they entered the city, so no, it can't be her. It is a difficult journey for the goddess as she returns to the refuge. When the Victorians joined forces to attack the Sarkaz front at the Palace of Westaleg, Originium continued to spread throughout the city. There are also those mad Sarkaz mercenaries wandering recklessly around, as if they've lost any semblance of humanity. Her head hurts, from the city's terrible condition and also from the horrific black crystals on her body.
I might be nearing my end now, Father Bishop.
Father Bishop. Either she is Lateran or she's Church of the Deep. But we've mostly seen Liberi Lateranos. We've never seen a cultist Laterano.
Excuse me, were you troops who protected the people here from the mercenaries? Yes. We have both Exemplar and Ducal Alliance troops in our squad, and we got a distress call while we were gearing up to enter the palace. Trust me, this mess will be over soon. Thank you too for taking care of the kids and refugees.
Oh no. Did you do anything to the Sarkaz child?
Are you looking for someone?
The goddess shakes her head.
Right, we did mop up some of the devils hiding about, Probably here because their side's about to lose.
Mop up.
See you, we have to hurry on to the front. I didn't see that kid. Follow me.
The child leads the goddess through bunker after bunker within the factory. The latter spots other refuge residents silently carrying away Sarkaz's corpses. They walk up to a pile of containers. The child struggles but manages to push the messed up lid open. The cowering Sarkaz's child from before looks at them in fear.
She's here. I promised you I'd help you, didn't I? It all happened so suddenly earlier, so this was the only place I could hide him.
He can't stay here.
On my way back, I met a group called Reunion. They can take him in.
Am I gonna see the death of me yet again? How many times do I have to see the death of Nezeru? Brother, we're at the Palace of Westerling.
Don't worry, we'll take good care of that one. What about you? Your erypathy's serious. You should come with us too.
I still have some things to do.
Alright, I won't force you. You remind me a lot of my comrades. Here's some suppressants and protective gear. Good luck.
You too.
Victorians advance in waves from afar towards the Nezeru King's last stand as life fades away. That is not her war. She Hold up. Burp. She feels fear and has no way of comprehending how these people overcome their fear of death, what keeps them pushing forward. But she hopes to save people too, to continue numbly, one life after another, even if it's all in vain. She recalls the day she left the monastery, when she and the bishop bid each other farewell by the riverside church. I do recall that during Executor Altar's event, that the Laterano plotline also tried tying in the Seaborn plotline as well. Just a thought. That the Seaborns are now technically relevant to the Laterano Sarkaz Sancta plot. I don't know how that'll weave out in the future, but I'm still kind of concerned. Mr. Bishop, which religion do you preach?
What is faith, you ask?
So it is... Okay. So judging by the church and the weird column on the outside, it's Lateran. Got it.
I traveled to Iberia in my youth and saw with my own eyes how the lives of those around me collapsed during the profound silence. But that tenacious nation has never once yielded. At first, I only admired the country's vitality, but as I lived my life, I came to realize that vitality, that is faith. Who was there to teach me, or even the other Iberians, what path to take in life? Did anyone promise us we would surmount such a terrifying disaster?
I'm having second thoughts that this might still be a Lateran bishop.
No, but faced with calamity, we always convince ourselves. Everything we go through is inevitably for something. Suffering will eventually end. We will enjoy a wonderful future. That is faith. Faith does not reside in scripture, nor in our prayers or in hymns, but in our lives. Faith is in our bodies and minds, in every heartbeat, in every breath. It is the source of all strength. Only because we believe.
Faith.
Father Bishop, it is as you say, that all suffering eventually ends. Then where is our wonderful future you're talking about? Father Bishop, I think I've tried my best.
The goddess collapses from exhaustion among the ruins, to the sounds of gunfire and cries from afar. An intense pain reminds her of the cruel truth. This body has met its end. She waves to those nearby whom she saved from death, staying alone in a wide open space far away from them. Her body begins to disintegrate. Hold up. Hold up. Why are we focusing so hard on this girl at the start of episode 50? If she's just gonna die here and now. I stand by what I said. If this girl is gonna become relevant to the story, if they're gonna find some way to make her a marketable gacha waifu, they're never gonna kill a playable character.
I'm willing to believe.
The light caught in the goddess's eyes begin to dim, until she sinks into endless night. God, is that you? Then she seems to see someone hold her almost shattered hand, and light begins to flow back into her eyes. Who? Whose hand was that? Amiya's? What's wrong, Amiya?
I think I heard the sound of an infected disintegrating. Again. I could almost see their final burst of light, not too far from us. We've seen this happen too often lately.
Let's go. Let's go confront Theresis. Wait. Hold up. Wait. They confronted Theresis before they started making their way back to Kasdel? Wait, they wrapped everything up before they started heading back to Kasdel. I thought they would address Theresis when they returned to Kasdel and they just allowed Theresis to keep a nam-nam. So that fills in the plot holes. Wait, no. No. Because when we saw the Sarkaz making their march back to Kasdel, being led back by both Amiya and Wishadel, when we saw them by then, the catastrophes were forming around the capitals of every major nation, which implies Theresis was still... No. Theresis only has a nam-nam. And it's the super weapon that Wishadel currently... which is in the possession of the Sarkaz. That's the one doing the catastrophes around the major nations. Nam-nam is different. Nam-nam is a separate thing from the catastrophe weapon. Okay, so things are falling into place. Things are tracking. So by the time they make it back to Kasdel, Theresis would have already been dealt with. Supposedly, as we're seeing happen right now before the end of the Lindinium saga. Doctor? Kelsey, a thought occurs. What exactly does stasis within the assimilated universe mean? Does that place we've been prevent even time from escaping? Ghost Star. Surge of information rushes forward, trying to engulf him. But Theresis does not budge. Freudian slip? But this is inside the Originium Sea. I thought by this time, we've already left the Originium Sea, returned from the airship, and back down into the city. We never saw Theresis inside the Originium Sea. What do you mean we just fucking missed him?
I finally see with my own eyes what great feat you've managed, Theresa.
Time unknown. Okay. Okay, Hypergriff. So this could take place anywhere in the timeline, but I think... What? Is this a flashback? Probably. He looks up at the tower standing in the void, because the tower in the sea, after we left the Originium Sea, Wishadel and Amiya and Theresa both closed it forever. So there wouldn't be any more Sarkaz souls entering the Originium Sea. So this would have been before Rhodes Amiya squad left the Originium Sea. He looks up at the tower standing in the void as falling fragments. Yeah, falling fragments because the tower was disintegrating by the time that we left. Back into irregular information and return into the nothingness. Theresa grabs a fragment that has drifted down to him, and it instantly turns to nothing in his palm.
You opened this door for me, so I'll finish this last part of the journey in your stead, Theresa. Once we Sarkaz seize the Originium that belongs to us, we shall, for the first time, hold the power to determine our fate.
He grips the blade in his hand and stares coldly at a large rhombus approaching him. Then he walks towards the crumbling tower. He knows well his opponent will be there. Destroy anything just to create a ladder. Theresa has left a path for him.
Myriad souls who never gave up resisting until they completely dissipated did one last thing for the Sarkaz within the Originium. They fought for a future where everyone has the right to survive. For the ones still alive. Onwards, everyone. Just as always, my blade will cut our path forward. You will lead the way. I never break my promises, Theresa.
He walks up the flight of stairs towards the top of the nearly collapsed tower. Hmm. 15-2. Bearer of the sword, and death shall have no dominion. So, we'll go through the before, we'll go to the event, and then we'll go after, because this is a story event. New redundant information.
All that remains is nothingness.
He looks at the rhombus. It appears to be
an eye staring at me.
For the first time in his life, Theresa feels a shiver run down his spine. But it isn't his own instinctive reaction. He feels that a force, a will he can't see, is trying to make him submit.
Be you a god or my creator, come out and face me.
Then silence, cold. There is no response from the void. Master, you shouldn't have come here. Huh? Ascalon? This is where you were this entire... You were here this entire time? Or was it... Hold up. Wait. This can't be. Last time we saw Ascalon during chapter 14, she was fighting Manfred, and they both fell off the whale. She can't be with Amiya's squad. She was never there with them. How are you in the Originium Sea, quote-unquote, Ascalon? This isn't Ascalon. Her Highness has already made a terrible, reckless mistake. I do not want to lose another person I care about. You can't be here.
Master, leave this place. The time is not yet right.
You should not use her to mock me, O self-proclaimed creator.
Are we finally seeing the very first iterations of the doppelgangers from Enfield? Is this an Ascalon doppelganger? Is this a tease that we could get Ascalon and Enfield if Warfaren pulls out her image from the Originium Forest? Hold up. Ascalon and Enfield when? The Ascalon standing before him is no illusion. This marvelous space has materialized his memories. Yeah, it's the same reasoning that they gave for the doppelgangers in Enfield. The Originium Sea can retain and reassimilate information. Technically, that's Originium's main function. For what exactly, we still have no clue. Because both Priestess and Doctor developed Originium as a contingency for something even worse that is coming for the universe. You mean there's a bigger bad than Originium? And that original Doctor, Oracle went through entire lengths to the extent of killing Theresa to make sure that the Originium project stays on course. Because that was the most important thing to Oracle.
In my memories, you're the same as before, just a little less mature. Since those who truly control this place dare not face me directly, then Theresa has indeed succeeded, and must have already been subjected to numerous restrictions. Otherwise, those arrogant beings wouldn't have tried to get you to stop me.
Theresus raises his sword.
You still do not wish to leave with me, Master?
If you really want to take me away, then defeat me. As you wish.
It seems to have Ascalon skills.
You're skilled, but you're merely using the skills I've taught you.
Ascalon disappears into a purple haze. She used her Originium arts. Theresus thinks back to the day he and Theresa led the remnants of the Sarkaz army into that storm. The day he walked into the purple smoke alone and took the knife from the girl's hands, just as he does again.
It has been some time, Ascalon.
Okay. Time to fight Ascalon. Bearer of the Sword. Also, this is the only stage of all the gameplay stages that we've gone through in episode 15. This is the only one with the Rhombus's eye staring at us.
The will inside Originium. You hide in the void, gazing upon me, trying to crush me with the memories that I treasure. What do you fear, Creator?
So, we basically just got an entire stage of Theresa's aura farming and mogging Priestess's goons. He can one-tap Colossi. And he's got an impenetrable barrier. We know these fuckers, they insta-kill you if they die on your tile.
I've always wanted to stand before you again, Master.
A shame, but you are not her.
Bro, he's just aura farming? And all the Colossuses are just lining up in a line? Hold up.
You won't last much longer, Master.
Theresa's left more behind for me than you think. Did you expect I would tread this unknown ground unprepared?
He watches the rhombus approach from the void. He already understands. Turn it up.
You're watching me, aren't you? Theresa beat you once. I won't fall behind. I will sever your control over Amnam.
You cannot harm me.
I told you. You need to be more decisive no matter whom the foe is. You took too long. I stand where they departed. The end to which Theresa guided me.
Okay, so by this time, Amiya squad already left the crumbling Originium Sea. And Theresa's just came in to clean up. Originium Sea crumbling, which made a ladder for Theresa's to face Priestess. Bro, we couldn't have stayed like 5 minutes longer to see this play out? Fine, okay, we had to liberate Londinium.
I was never the only one putting the hubris of the gods on trial. The voice of the Sarkaz has been silent for too long.
The shards of the tower gather around Theresa's before they return to entropy. Gentle whispers. He hears the defiant cry of the Sarkaz against fate.
Did you think you would witness me cower, God who plays this game? Did you think I would submit to sentiment? You don't know me, and you don't know the Sarkaz. Look upon my sword, Ascalon.
Time to ult. Charging. Will Theresa's make it out of this? Will we wrap up Theresa's as a character in the first 2 chapters of episode 15? Because the Londinium arc is way too long that we had an extra epilogue to go through.
Mission accomplished.
Let's find out if Theresa's makes it out of this alive. I don't think so. Because by the time Sarkaz and Rhodes Island began making the march back to Kazzel, the vibes were pretty good. It's no wonder the vibes seemed weird because in prior events addressing every single thing that we had to wrap up for the Londinium saga, by the time they started making their march back to Kazzel, there was still the looming threat of the Originium weapon causing threatening catastrophes above every major nation, and by then we didn't have the info that we're getting now that Theresa's might have already been dealt with. Hello, Virgil. Are you the only one here? I don't know. Are you? Also, what's up? We are going through our story reading of Chapter 15. You're not the only one here. I'm here. The rhombus-shaped eye is collapsing. Theresa's raises his head and looks up at the golden sea above. The platform's descent is slowing, but it will eventually crash into the ocean. As he steps onto the platform, the sky and the ground, up and down, instantly reverse themselves. In this barren void, without any rules, what does destruction even mean? Just what should he do now? Theresa isn't sure.
You will vanish, Ascalon. I've severed the connection between you and a certain will.
Master, I've just seen many great images flash by. They were all images of me, but why do I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience? Why do I feel like I'm so far away?
I swear, if this is a first tease to Ascalon showing up in Enfield now that we know her information has been retained in Originium, I won't be surprised if somewhere along Enfield's live service, they're like, ooh, looky, Warfarin pulled out Ascalon's doppelganger from the Originium Forest. She's now playable in Enfield. Don't be surprised.
That's just my memory of you. Of me. You aren't a false phantasm, but you're not the real Ascalon either.
Yeah, they gave you a new term for Enfield. I just keep calling you a doppelganger because it's a lot easier to remember, but this is basically the concept of doppelgangers that they introduce in Enfield. This is the first time we've ever seen it in original Arknights proper. We're already getting Enfield teases in episode 15.
They're mocking me, and you as well. I will put an end to this farce myself.
Master, does this mean you're going to die?
What difference would it make?
Sorry I wasn't able to save you.
No, you did well. You did plenty well enough.
Teresa swings his sword with all his might, cleaving the memory construct and the already broken platform in two. Ascalon begins to shatter into pieces. Her shards, along with the other debris, fall into the Golden Sea, transforming into more chaotic information.
Go. At least take a few of my memories when you go. Catch up to Teresa and the myriad souls on their journey.
He can no longer hear Teresa or the myriad souls, but he still has a slight sense of familiarity with the information scattered around him. Everywhere, although it's vanishing quickly. She's fighting against it, as are the myriad souls. The tower is completely collapsed. Everything has returned to the sea of data, and the sea is slowly calming down. The Priestess is also falling to the vast golden ocean. He is silent and minuscule.
This is by no means the end, but do we have enough time left?
Priestess, our blades will not be enough to destroy the gods. However, we may manage to destroy them with our own methods.
So these were Theresa's final words then?
But I can't promise you this will work. I have no reason to doubt your judgment.
Judgment, Teresa. Tell me what I must do.
Face the gods. Directly.
Chills. Cinema. Teresa turns around and without any hesitation swims for deeper waters, disappearing fully into the black abyss of data. After a moment, the surface of the sea begins to stir and boil again. Then the sea splits open, as if sliced by a sharp blade. Chaotic streams of information surge endlessly into the abyss. Connection unstable. It's you? She opens her eyes and sees the small, frail creature. Then all the violent scenes come to a screeching halt. Ayo? Throne room, Palace of Westaleg. Back to real world. We got a... Wait, throne room. Who are we facing in the throne room? I thought Nezeru died outside the palace. Oh, this motherfucker! Okay, Hypergriff. I said it before during episode 14, I'll say it again. How have we not killed this motherfucker yet? Bro, I was so disappointed when we ended episode 14 and went through 2 whole epilogues without addressing that Manfred wasn't murked by Ascalon. Ascalon's aura was going into the negatives. Like, she's Rhodes Island's best assassin. She couldn't finish off Manfred during episode 14. Can we finally get closure? And make sure Ascalon doesn't get even more negative aura?
Ascalon doesn't need your help.
Disapproving roar. This is not the proper stage for your fair fight. Priestess does not have much time left for us. Ascalon, how are your wounds healing up? What intel have you received?
Don't worry. With Entelechia's help, I'm recovering quite well. According to Ascalon's reports, Priestess really has returned from the command center. Nezeru surely chose the Palace of Westaleg as the site for the final battle with an eye towards protecting Theresis.
Okay, so they definitely wrapped up everything before making the march back to Kazdel. So is Theresis making his way back to the palace? Or is he still swimming in the Originium Sea?
However, currently, Thesis and Theresa are still concealing their true motives from the other members of the Military Commission. This includes Manfred, the nominal leader of the Military Commission.
They're calling you a dumbass, by the way? Manfred stands alone in front of the empty throne room, facing you down. Ascalon is fully locked onto him, leaving no room for any reckless moves. The standing water from his earlier battle with Ascalon has soaked Manfred's cloak, leaving him slightly disheveled.
Theresa must have already captured Nom and handed it over to Thesis, but Thesis is not here, and Manfred seems unaware of his whereabouts.
Okay, timeline tracks. Got it.
Doctor, do you think he went there too?
To the assimilated universe, to the sea of data within the first Originium.
Theresa has been moving too aggressively. If Thesis reasserts himself again, the damage could be irreparable. Terra as it stands now is woefully unprepared, regardless of the outcome.
Kelsey, what are the chances of success? Don't tell me that. Kelsey, are we prepared to deal with any of all potential outcomes? That's the same thing.
I don't have detailed information on the first Originium either, so naturally I'm unable to propose any concrete countermeasures. In other words, with how things have developed so far, it's become very difficult to rely on our past experience and knowledge to analyze the current situation. Dr. Kelsey, do you mean we're helpless to do anything? Not at all. If their plan succeeds, what Thesis and Theresa are seeking still falls within the bounds of our understanding, and we may not face the worst case scenario. But if they fail...
Kelsey looks at you, her eyes filled with worry.
Doctor, we must return to Rhodes Island landship as quickly as possible. We might still have one last chance to buy Terra a brief moment of respite.
What did you mean by that? First, we must get Manfred under control. Ascalon, twist his balls. Excited cry. Monster, you do it.
I will protect the Doctor and restrict Manfred's movements as much as possible. Settle this quickly. Be wary of the Tikaz Wurtzen that he's carrying.
Just as the Tikaz Wurtzen in Manfred's hand begins to glow red, the king of the Sarkaz's arts and Ascalon's blade descend upon him.
This must end.
Murk him, Ascalon! I've been waiting more than a year!
Move!
Ascalon instantly dissolves in the purple mist, scattering amidst the flash of the blade, before reforming again. The barrier woven by Mia protects you and Kelsey, but it begins to falter against the blade flash. Shields with all its might. Wait. Oh, Theresa's... Bro, what happened to you? You've been swimming in Originium for way too long, man. Look at your... look at your fugly mug. The Blade's master slowly emerges from the darkness. He looks even more terrifying under the faint light. Is that supposed to be Nom, my guy?
You put yourself in this predicament. Your Highness, you. Looks like Nezeru is fulfilling his end of the bargain. You've come here to see me. Very good.
Ellipses? You see a man standing before the throne. Thesis. He looks nothing like the man you once knew. He's tightly gripping a vivid, gleaming crystal. Is that Is that Num Num?
Num Num. You seem surprised. You two have set foot in the void. You two have witnessed her departure. You know full well the heavy price the Sarkaz paid for this. And yet, you never believed the Sarkaz had any rightful claim to it. Isn't that right, Dame Kelsey?
At least for now, we rejoice in your success.
I thought you would rejoice in my death, Dame.
His originium infection level is over 9,000.
I don't know what he encountered, but needless to say, the assimilated universe's chaotic information continues to rapidly corrupt his will. It will carry on this way until his entire body is fully decoded into another format. Originium. How much longer can he hold out? Frankly, I'm stunned that he's managed to survive this long.
Your Highness, I shall escort you out. Maybe we can still find a way to. Londinium does not need me anymore. Please handle the remaining tasks. I must do one last thing for the Sarkaz, while my mind is still clear.
Is Priestess asserting control over my mans?
Rhodes Island. The equality you seek may be a noble goal for all of Terra. We Sarkaz will not be there to greet its arrival. Such bitter irony, you and I brought about the outcome with our own hands. Doctor, and now you're walking the very same path she once laid out for me.
Num Num is responding to Therese's call. The entire underground throne room begins to shift. The path by which you entered is now gone. The hole sealed in the lower layer of Londinium is being filled at a face visible to the naked eye.
Stop him!
The surging originium assimilates Amia's arts, something she has never experienced before.
It's not working! Why?
But Theresa still shows the same rarely seen pain look in his face.
Kal'tsit, you are much like her.
Something's not right. It assimilated her attack!
He's currently adapting to and studying a Num Num. The more he's exposed to it, the more chaotic the data streams will impact him. The first Originium, having had its authority seized by force, can't possibly compare to the state it was in when first created. We still have a chance.
Seize authority by force. My mans took a Num Num straight from Priestess's hands, brought it into the real world. We don't have to attack head on. Stall, we can't last for long. If you can't if you can't Texas Yato, you just gotta stall, dude. I need to get closer to him and Num Num. So we are wrapping all of this up by the end of the saga. So we could have a clean start. I swear, bro, one last epilogue and then we're done. Okay, got it. Cook Hypergriff. One last epilogue for the Londinium saga. Trust me. You'll never forget how you felt in that moment. You nearly lost Amiya. This was when we were entering the Originium Sea. However, you feel a torrent of jumbled information rushing through your mind. This was also when Doctor entered Limbo, aka Priestess's throne world, in between entering Num Num. Time is slowing down, but you could feel the Originium. The Originium you control. Maybe, just maybe, you still have a chance, so long as you could remember everything that happened. If you could do that, you'll be able to stop the Originium.
I will do my best to carve a path for you, Doctor. Monster, do not worry about me. Protect the Doctor. The Doctor is the only person out of everyone here who can stop a Num Num.
She knows? Well, Kelsey does know that Oracle was the one that originally created Num Num. So, that implies we have authority over it. Maybe we could reassert authority back from Theresis. Hesitant roar? Wait a minute. No shot. Bro. This is immutable. Why are you playing immutable? Hypergriff? Why are you playing Kelsey's theme? Is this when she... Hypergriff? Are we doing it here and now? Are we killing Kelsey here and now? Why are you playing immutable? Why are you playing immutable? Trust me. Open claws to protect you. The surging originium activates the pool of dead water that has lain still on the surface for ages. Mist clinging to your mask makes it hard to see the road ahead. However, you feel a silken thread wrap around your waist, gently guiding you forward.
Amiya,
Keep going!
I told you before, this conflict ended long ago. Doctor, Teresa, and I fully understand that there is no place for the Sarkaz in the future.
I wouldn't be too sure about that, dog. I've seen Sarkaz in Enfield. Bro, you want to have some spoilers for Enfield? Maybe you might change your tune.
However, Ascalon, Manfred, your future does not lie here either.
Originium creeps up Manfred and Ascalon's bodies, pushing them towards the edge, to the end of the battlefield.
Leave. Go to a safe place and wait there. Remember to take Nom Nom back to Kazdel. Wait, Your Highness!
Manfred's voice vanishes within the underground throne room. Theresis has already scuttled him off to a safe place. Don't get to make decisions for me anymore. Into the puff of smoke, Ascalon dissolves into purple mist, slipping through the cracks of the Originium and remaining in the throne room. She is everywhere all at once, just waiting for an opportunity.
Folly.
Nom Nom is still flashing, but his movements are becoming increasingly difficult. The Originium is restricting his arms, his eyes, and even his thoughts. But still, he forces himself to remember one goal: to bury everything here. He needs to hold on to his last shred of sanity so as he could leave Nom Nom with Manfred, who is finally safe. He struggles to lift up his sword as he once did when he served at the side of the King of Sarkaz. He raises his sword for the Sarkaz one final time.
Doctor, we meet again at last.
That wasn't me, dog. Ship of Theseus, that was Oracle. Have you ever looked up at the sky?
Beyond that sky, far beyond the twin moons, there is a place that we would once return to, where we would sleep peacefully. But I'm the only one left here speaking with you. The course of the Sarkaz's eternal search for the remains of dead gods to fend off your enemies. Have you ever wondered, why did those gods die?
In the sea filled with both truth and the unknown, I saw a fleeting vision of the gods before they died, and root of the pain you bear. I now understand you, though you have already passed away. Now I'm the only one left, and I'm speaking to you. Before I retire to my eternal slumber, I will destroy you. I shall build a ladder for the Sarkaz. Okay, this is Teresa. It's Teresa speaking. No longer will anyone toy with the fate of the Sarkaz. We shall reclaim our own destiny, Doctor. Priestess swings his sword. A beam of light stings your eyes and you rack your brain trying to recall how to stop Nom Nom. Just take control back, bro. Just reassert authority. It's your creation. Amiya breaks the barrier layer by layer amidst the gleam of the sword. You think you see Monster's huge frame blocking your view. Stop! You suddenly remember everything about the moment you almost lost Amiya. You remember how you stopped it all. They're gonna explain how everyone survived entering Nom and not get assimilated into Originium. They're gonna explain it was the doctor that let them survive in the first place. Also, they're gonna explain the whole throne world thing.
You did it, Doctor. You remembered.
Priestess.
You! You told us that we would only have one chance to strike. You really have slowed down a lot. Teresa struggles to lower his head and sees the blade that has pierced his heart, as well as Ascalon, with a determined look on her face and tears in her eyes.
She killed her father! She killed her stepdad! Rip Bozo. The figure steps out of the smoke and pins Theresis to the throne with all her strength. Nom and his sword fall to the ground, lying in the shallow water, reflecting the dim light.
Master, this is the end. Theresis raises his hand. Careful, don't let him touch it again. Theresis clutches Ascalon's assassin blade and uses all his strength to slowly draw it from his chest. There is no blood. There is no warmth. All that's left are a few shattered crystal shards. Well done. You finally found your conviction. Your heart stopped beating a while ago. I've repaid my debt. Take it.
Theresis, straining, shifts his gaze towards Nom, laying on the ground.
Find Manfred. Kazdel. Go home. You.
Ascalon feels himself being pushed away by a very weak hand.
Yostar.
Yostar! Proofread your fucking 16 million revenue making game per month. Can't pay Yostar to fucking proofread their own story.
I will stay here. I cannot let the Sarkaz know my fate.
He hears faint cheers from above. The cheers of the Victorians. The Nezeru king is gone. No! How many times do I have to see my own death in this game? Nesalem, no! You miss Logos' elegy for the Nezeru.
His war ended just before mine. Doctor, I was able to gaze upon the true face of the gods. I only regret that I was unable to completely defeat you.
Kelsey, what did Bozo mean by that?
Assuming he speaks the truth, he may have brought Terra a moment of respite. Regardless, we must continue our preparations, Doctor. Then Theresis will remain here. I'll ensure no one disturbs him and no one finds him.
She holds up Nom and Theresis' sword.
Dr. Kelsey, Nom belongs to Kazdel.
Okay, we finally have the missing puzzle pieces to how the first Originium ended in the control of Kazdel, still powering the catastrophe weapon, and how everyone was like, we're okay with letting Kazdel keep it as a contingency, as a nuclear contingency. If Theresis wasn't around. If Theresis was still around, maybe it would have been a different scenario, but by the time we march back to Kazdel, Theresis would have already been dealt with. Okay, everything finally makes sense now. They just had to give us just one last epilogue, bro. Just one last epilogue.
It must return to Kazdel. We must consider this matter carefully. The damage the Sarkaz inflicted on Londinium is bound to stir a new wave of hatred, and without proper guidance it could lead to an even darker nightmare. This war must end, but Kazdel must also take measures to protect itself. We can go to Castle together and watch how they use a Nom Nom.
Yep, there we go. Basically what I said.
This really is the best move, Kelsey. There are many things we need to discuss, but not here. First, we must use a Nom Nom to leave this place. Give it a try, Doctor.
Strange. It's not responding to me. Can I turn on admin controls or something?
Let me try. I can feel a faint connection. I think it's responding to me.
The sealed passage reopens yet again. Why can Ascalon use it? Can you only assert control over a Nom Nom by forcefully beating the other person? Is that how you assert authority over a Nom Nom? You beat the other person?
Is it assaulting my thoughts? Enough. We can't just keep using this thing haphazardly. We need to do much more research on its uses and potential dangers.
Ascalon looks at the figure on the throne. In the darkness, she cannot make out his face. Her eyes are a bit blurry.
I'll go with you. I'll respect his wishes. I don't need to witness his end. Ascalon.
The goddess hugs Ascalon tightly. Ascalon suddenly realizes that the frail goddess she once found in the wilderness has grown up.
Let's go home together. Doctor?
You go up ahead. I need to ask the bozo a few more questions.
I'll stay here to protect you. Monster is staying here, and it should be sufficient. The recess is no longer a threat. We'll wait for you outside.
Really? You guys don't want to stay for this conversation? It's very quiet. All you could hear is dripping water. You silently creep closer to the man on the throne.
You do not fear death, Doctor.
You can't kill me? You don't think that way?
Such a prideful stance.
His voice is hoarse. You're forcing yourself to speak with me.
You have won my respect, Doctor. You're more determined than I thought. But you are on a suicide mission.
I never imagined you could seize a Nom Nom. You are heroes in the eyes of the sarcasm, but... Are you laughing?
I'm laughing at you, Doctor. You know nothing.
What did you find in the assimilated universe?
That is my secret. You have no right to ask. I have no desire to belittle Rhodes Island's yearning to heal the wounds caused by Originium. Yet, it is still so ironic.
If this man's assimilated with all the information in the Originium Sea, then he should know by now that it was Oracle, alongside Priestess, that kick-started the Originium program.
In the end, if you find that the real monster is you, then what will you do, Doctor?
What have you learned?
Alas, I will not live to see that day. You and I never really did get along. But so then, as it is now.
He grabs at his clothing. It seems he's trying to find something. There are deep cuts on his breastplate, wounds left by Ascalon. He finally finds what he's looking for. The stone blade he always carries.
Calm down, monster of Kelsey.
He's just trying to throw you the blade.
It's Ascalon's. Leave. You're not worthy of witnessing my end.
Directly below the Palace of Westoleg throne room, on the lowest throne in Terra, the regent of the Sarkas accepts his fate alone. This first Victorian throne, which has been eroded by time and bears little resemblance to its original form, was moved here intact when this nomadic city was first built and became part of the foundation of the Palace of Westoleg.
The king who built Londinium said, "This symbolizes that Victoria's royal authority is everlasting, from beginning to end." According to official Victorian records, the Sarkaz mercenaries, led by an organization called Babel, withdrew from Londinium in October 1098. However, the leader who ultimately directed all of this, Theresis, vanished without a trace. The end of Kazdel's heroic age. His ears can no longer hear anything, but the sound of the ocean waves flood his brain just as it did before. This is the voice of the assimilated universe. An endless stream of information crashes into his consciousness. It is frenzied and unclear. It is beyond his understanding. Theresis has very little time to think. His final shred of consciousness surrenders to the vast sea data. His consciousness comes to rest beside a lonely monster. The ugly Tikaz, wearing a black crown on his head, walks out from the silvery mountains. He looks up at the vast starry sky. The eternal starry sky, the wild primal continent. From every corner of existence, countless lives look beyond the earth and stars. They all gaze up at the same universe. He's not lonely. He feels more calm and peaceful than he's ever felt in his life. At last, I see the past as you once saw it. As well as the future. He wants to say something more, to call that last name. To call that name one last time. He can no longer speak. He's totally exhausted. But as he prepares to close his eyes, a faint white ray emerges from the darkness.
Hello? Hello, hold up.
Let me just sip my coffee.
What do you mean, familiar gentle voice?
We insist that you know the parting words that she left for you. As Theresa left with the myriad souls, she heard your voice among the many who called out to her. Our time has finally come to an end. Goodbye, Theresis.
He strains to open his eyes. His field of vision grows ever darker. But he recognized the figure in white some time ago, as soon as it first appeared. Goodbye, Theresa. He doesn't need to hold on any longer. He flashes a slight smile and allows his last wisp of consciousness to dissipate. The light dispels the darkness. The light brings forth the darkness. When the light pours into his eyes once more, time seems to have gone backwards, back to the moment before the collapse.
Hey, yo! Wait. Our very first flashback to the before times?
You're lost. Who speaks to me? It's been a long time since this place has had a new visitor. Or are you the last survivor of the ruined planet?
Ruined planet?
I remember my consciousness was shattering
Wait.
And then disintegration, death. But why?
I'm gonna speak as if this is Theresis. Because he was the last... he's the only person in this scene for a while now. Where the fuck... Bro, is it all just...
Hold up. Are we in a simulation?
Wait. Hold up, are we in the throne world? Fast and Let's keep reading.
In any case, welcome. Come, seek me.
Wait. Hold up. Consciousness dissipates, dispel darkness, light brings forth darkness, and then we change scene. And then we're brought here, and then we see the infected goddess girl that we saw die on screen, quote unquote.
I remember a hand reached out to me before I died. This place...
The goddess, who should have perished and returned to Terran soil, looks around in confusion. Hello? She has never seen a place like this before. Light falls upon her and she feels warm.
Where are we? The land beyond death? The home of the gods?
Hey, yo! What's going on, dude? Why is she alive? She got brought into a throne world? I have so many thoughts just racing through my mind right now. 15:3. In the name of a miracle. Shall sleep in the light of a wondrous day, where hell and heaven shall leave thee free to the universe of destiny. Oh, it's only a before. Hold up. Just making sure. Okay. Just making sure. It's only a before. Where are we? Are we in her throne world?
Bells? Why am I hearing them ring from all directions?
Her voice is so soft that it does not even echo off the walls. Is that why we see this bunny girl looking as if she's traveling dimensions in PV4? Hold up. She got chosen by Priestess? Whenever the foggy light comes, lots of tiny holes appear in the walls, opening and closing, breathing. When the light disappears, the walls turn white and silent.
The light is very different from the holy city's light that the bishop talked about. That light is a simulated F spectrum. I can hear you. How can I see you?
She presses her nails to the wall. It feels warm and soft, as if she's touching someone else's fingertips. I think we're in her throne world. So she places her whole palm against the wall, pressing closely to the wall's fine patterns and textures. Wherever her hand moves, the patterns along with it stretch, as if they're quietly guiding her by the hand.
You're responding to me?
She runs forward for a bit. The wall extends with her, leading her.
There's so many doors and so many different paths here. Where do they all lead?
The goddess stops walking. She sees a god standing in midair. Short distance in front of her, its silhouette is massive. The surface of the god's body carries a murky sheen. Unlike that of any metal, it nimbly arranges a vast array of glowing fragments in the patterns. As the patterns change, the fragments shift color in turn.
but the girl notices that there's no halo on the god's head. The midair colossus completely ignores her, gliding past without hesitation. That's a robot. That's a drone. Another similar being approaches and stops in front of her. It seems to be asking her a question. Beep boop.
I don't understand what you're saying.
The god is quiet for a moment, then it switches from its own language to another one and continues talking.
Your use of language is primitive.
Beep boop. The god extends its supple limbs to cover the goddess's head. The goddess nervously shuts her eyes.
There's no need to fear. I am analyzing your brain frequency and uploading it to kal'tsit.
Huh?
Language. You. Sufficient to communicate. Not yet vectorized. Extrapolation. Deduction. Language. Temporary adjustment. Resonance. Necessary. I can't understand you. Can you understand me?
Indubitably.
Then, are you God?
The goddess nervously asks the question that she is most desperate for an answer to.
God. Question. Definition. Necessary. The bishop says that God is the embodiment of the law and Lord of the holy city, protects the sick and the dearly departed, but these things that he says were never recorded in the history books.
Forsake. God. God not necessary.
If you aren't God, then who rescued me? Why have I been brought here? Or is this kingdom come? Are you here to guide me into the kingdom?
Questions. Too many. Resonance. Lacking. Communication. Insufficient. Ray distorter. I. Partial answer. Show you. The being who calls itself Ray Distorter uses its limbs to draw a window in the air and drag it to the nearest wall. The image of the porthole quickly fades from view. A pale, eerie light wells up from nowhere, flooding the entire window. The image gradually sharpens, and the goddess girl looks out the window. Alright then. Hold up. Hold up! We're back in space! We're on a ship! Oh shit! Wait a minute! Hold up! What planet is this? I don't think this is Terra, at least in current day. Because that shit's popping. That shit's... Is that Originium assimilation? Hold up. Lone Trail 2 Electric Boogaloo. We're finally in space and we see an actual space station. A shattered sphere floats in the dark expanse of space, dotted with countless stars. It is frozen at the moment of death. All the past that have not had time to be told shatter into dust and are cast into the frozen void. The dust particles find each other and circle around the former garden. They clump together into rings that float in the air. Yo! What the fuck is this? There's Originium on that spaceship. Oh, wait. I'm foaming at the mouth? The goddess girl and Ray Distorter sail atop these dust rings into the dead silence. Bro, she got abducted by aliens. At the time of her death? But no, wait. Amiya felt her disintegrating by Originium death. So she did die. But we assume that she was brought onto the ship by Priestess. For what reason, though?
Is this it? Is this Priestess's ship? Was she not actually in the throne world? I think the throne world theory was more interesting, to be honest. But okay, spaceship, got it. But how did her form reconstitute? The girl disintegrated into originium dust, and then she reformed on the spaceship? Then again, originium. Originium can do anything. Maybe this is her doppelganger. Maybe she was pulled out of the originium sea, just like all the doppelgangers in Enfield. We see. Sail. Salvage. You shudder. Fear.
The faraway things, the twinkling things, they look like eyes. It's really scary.
She's never seen stars like this before.
They're just stars, but they feel so alien to me. There are too many of them. They're too close, too bright. You're not scared?
She did it for the lols. What's up, Hermit? We're going through the gambit of me getting my mind blown by the first few chapters of this episode. So much shit has happened. We wrapped up the Lindinium saga with yet another epilogue. We filled in the blanks of what happened to Theresis at the end of the Lindinium saga, how Nam Nam came into possession of Kazdel and the Sarkaz. Rip Bozo, or a farm to the very end. But now we're here in space with the goddess girl that we saw apparently die and get reconstituted back on this spaceship.
Fear is unnecessary. Fear too limiting, too inadequate to describe.
Infinite Victoria epilogues. Just one more, bro, I swear. The goddess looks through the window and sees that tiny holes have appeared in the walls of the ship. A white light appears from somewhere far, far in the distance. It starts growing, and growing until it covers up almost the entire window. The blinding light caresses the surface of the land of death, covering and hiding everything from any would-be watchful eyes. The goddess girl looks directly at the light, as a fear is continually invading her heart. A fear she does not understand. It's the pale light of a dying star. A dead planet still orbits the star, and the great ship clinging to the star ring must endure its light and its wailing again and again without end. Sea, yes? Only grave. No holy city. Huh? What? Huh? Wait. Repeat? Repeat? Hold up. Is this Terra? In the future? Only cycles. Only laws. No gods. Okay, maybe it was just a metaphor. Universe. Welcome. You, traveler. Name?
Hirda. I don't know when it started, but the nickname the clerics used to tease me with became my name.
Hirda. A new story-relevant bunny girl? Who was the bunny girl that we saw in PV4? Looking as if she could shatter dimensions and travel through windows? In space and time? We initially thought that that bunny girl was gonna be Frost Nova Alter. Too much copium. It's Hirda. It was Hirda all along. Ooh.
Administrator permissions confirmed. Unlocking Restricted Access Project, PRTS, Prepared Audio Log, number 0422. Access restrictions unlocked.
Wait, I thought... Bro, last time we were delving into the deep logs of Rhodes Island, PRTS locked the logs by the end of Vigilo.
Date, unrecoverable. Play log, under development area. Subject, Kelsey.
The dust has settled in Londinium, but hopes for peace in Victoria seem dim. How much time do we have? I know you're listening, PRTS. I need you to do everything you can to restore monitoring the cradle process in the middle deck's under development area. And prepare to grant closure access to my permissions. Kelsey? Authorization. This. Thank you. There's a lot left to do. How will I manage it myself? Playback finished. Erasing access log. 3, 2, 1. Log has been erased. Administrator, do you want to unlock the next classified log? Operation confirmed. Unlocking next log. $11:01. Time skip, baby! Yo! We finally reached the new century. We're finally here in current main story. The side stories have been operating post main story for so long. After 6 years, the main story finally caught up to the side stories. 3 years after the Londinium incident. Ooh, BP. This is. Wait a minute. These are Closure's drones. We've been fighting Closure's drones in the stages this time. Alana is here. She's the stepmom that stepped up. It's only 3 years. Alana is here, which means she's probably with Warmy. Good work. Seems like Closure and Mechanist upgrades were effective. Hey, the repair work on this sector is nearly complete. I don't have my Australian accent workshop. I'm just sticking with that. She feels a small body make contact with her back, hugging her neck and giggling. Warmy! Alana knows the giggle so well. Sometimes it makes her happy and sometimes it makes her anxious. She takes the girl she loves so much up on her back. Pot lid, I smell cream stew. Lance, you're going to ruin the surprise. Smells good too. I couldn't help myself. Sure happy. I guess the doctor agreed. Yes, I saw an opening for volunteer work in Rimbilton office, and I signed up as soon as I could. She's a full-fledged operator now. The food I cook now can't cure a miner's neuropathy, sure, but our Rhodes Islander friends can, and I can fill their stomachs. Wait. Huh? I know this is a throwaway line from a little girl, but what did she mean Rhodes Islander friends can cure neuropathy? What? If Savage and Ray hadn't vouched for me, the doctor might have rejected my application on the spot. Well, it's my responsibility as your guardian to accompany you, obviously. Savage and Ray are with me, no worries. But even when I'm not around, you still have to eat, right, Lance? I've left a full week's worth of soups of the day in the kitchen, all your favorite flavors. My colleagues in logistics will keep an eye on you for me. You're the boss, Spotlid. But will you really be able to stand leaving your friends? Yep, BP. The BP is also a good friend of mine. But lots of people I know also have applied to serve as backup in this place or that, and I'm not about to fall behind. Everyone's looking forward to touring our new home after the mission is over. Lance, you promised me that Rhodes is gonna look even more beautiful once the renovations are done. Spoilers. Bro, look, man. It was almost impossible to not get spoiled about what happens to Rhodes Island by the end of this. Sure, man, the renovations are gonna turn out fine. Of course, I picked the Closure's blueprints before. Also, I was already brave enough to say goodbye to my family and set off on a long journey, just like my dad did. Lance, you just wait for my return.
At least Warmy won't be here for when shit goes down. Yo! The Depresso Bears! They're still at Rhodes Island in 3 years.
Giant cookie. Is this from KOB? Lots of operators are getting ready to head out to support posts. Getting ready to head out to support posts. Got cookies. You gotta eat good when you're traveling. Kay was really firm on me on that. I just wonder if she's gonna end up eating most of the cookies before she gets to share them. I set it up with Vulcan to bake a batch of cookies as quickly as possible, so Kay could pass them all out to the operators going on field missions. When the time comes, I'll have Sonia go with Kay to distribute them. Why? Forget it. I'll just drag Leto with me.
What?
I'm fine as long as you give me the honey drink you owe me once we get there. With a drink in my hand, I'm at your command, General Zima. What a headache. All this talking to people shit, this is Natalia's work. Rosa can't be everywhere at once. She has a lot of specific plans to go over with Amiya too, you know. The trip's going to be a bit more trouble than usual after all. We're going to...
Hello? Are we... What? Hold up! We've been teasing a return to Ursus for a while now. Wait a minute. If Reunion's heading back to Ursus for their plotline, does that mean we could have the Ursus girls be the Rhodes Island protagonists there? Hold up. Yeah, let's go! Ursus coming soon!
Or did you give the task of planning with Amiya to Rosa because you were afraid you couldn't do it?
Who said I couldn't do it? It's just... Ursus, the place they all left together.
So much time has passed since then. Zima believes they're ready to go back and face the place once more.
Yo! This is gonna be chapter 16 or some shit. Starring Reunion and the Ursus girls?
Gummy, what's wrong with your hand? Nothing, Zima. It's just a little sore is all. We had them baking too many cookies. The bakers in the canteen got worn out. Even Kay, waiting right outside the door, had to get dragged in to help like a good girl. Don't worry about me, Zima. She wants to fill the bellies of the operators who took good care of her and now are leaving home. I feel the same way. We'll do our part as well. Anyways, Natalia also needs to spend some time.
You need help? Count me in. Who is this? Durnar!
See, little cub? Look what I can whip up in the kitchen. Instructor Durnar? The doctor showed me your application. I took the liberty of applying to travel with you as your guardian.
Durnar is joining them for their Ursus side plot.
Truth is, the doctor was too worried about sending you back. I'm worried enough myself. Zima? Welcome. Rosa, the doctor didn't want to approve your application at first. Medical assessed all of you and recommended that we be a bit more careful with your itinerary. But in the end, the doctor respected our wishes. That's because of Zima. She burst into the doctor's office and vowed to protect you, promising your safe return to Rhodes Island. Just like before.
Don't forget Crown Slayer? That's right, Crown Slayer, also from Ursus. But I feel like Crown Slayer is way more relevant to... Well, I think they wrapped it up. They did wrap up the Wolves game. I don't know where they could slot her in. Too many characters in this fucking game. But I think Crown Slayer got enough screen time during her own event. We should... let's loop back to the Ursus girls and give us a sequel.
Kept them alive in Chernobog. I got us through it. This time's no different.
It's not just about safety. This encounter with Ursus will be very different from before.
Natalia and I have worked it out. If we operate under her family Rostov Industries, we'll have an easier time moving around. Oh yeah, they're definitely going there to investigate the revolts. Oh, this is directly connected to the revolts that's currently happening in Ursus, and Reunion going there to stoke the fire. So, oh yeah, that's definitely their plotline. I'm not worried about your status. Rhodes Island has ways to deal with things like that. Hands over medical report. The assessment says you aren't fully prepared yet. There are other logistics tasks you can choose. There are always other ways you can help Rhodes Island. They want to be field operators. We're all nervous about going back, at least a bit. We can't keep hiding from it. This isn't some journey home for self-healing. We looked over the risks and volunteered because we think we're a good fit for operations in Ursus. We decided to call Rhodes Island our home a long time ago. So I can guarantee I'll bring them back home safe and sound.
Zima alter when?
Sonia has always been braver than me. Mia, as far as the details of our collaboration with Rostov Industries, I'd appreciate it if Dr. Kelsey and Doctor could take a look. I believe this will be only beneficial to our operations. Consider it done, Rosa.
I don't know why she's the only one I gave a Russian accent to. But sure.
I still recommend that you avoid conducting any operations in Chernobog for now. Ursus is still patrolling the areas closely as ever, and your identities are still an issue. We'll stay in contact with the ship. There are still many aspects to Ursine operation that will be up to you to assess. Have a safe trip, Rosa. The ship will be sending additional logistics and medical staff to accompany you, not only to support your operation but also to explore the possibility of establishing a permanent office in Ursus. By the way, someone else came to find me after your travel plans were announced. She hopes to join you on your journey.
Dernar? Crown Slayer.
Let me put the pot down. You eat your fill first. I haven't gotten hungry in a long time. Maybe I was just too busy today and forgot to eat, Estina. You and Zima are here, so I'll be fine. Then get to eating, you hear me? Open wide, Gummy. I'm full, Leto. Come to think of it, do you have anything you need us to bring, Zima? Personal thingies? I brought some big crates with me. Well, let's bring the guitar Natalia gave me. Don't want her asking about it later. Anything else? Just leave it at home. Not like we're never coming back.
Bring the guitar. I don't know. I'm having a slight tingling in my spider sense. Maybe you should bring the guitar. Or bring anything important with you that you don't want to lose. Just saying.
That reminds me, I've got some junk to give someone. Mind if we swing by GRAAAH on the way, Sonia?
Yo, they were already off to Ursus by the time Leto stopped by GRAAAH. Oh wait, no. Maybe she already stopped by GRAAAH and she's just stopping by again. Should be fine. I'll submit my travel plan to the doctor. Excuse me, might I join you on your trip to Ursus? Who is this? Dernar? Is it Dernar? Yo! The other missing Ursus girl! She's finally relevant to the plot. Absinthe? She wasn't part of the original Ursus Bears. She was at a different school.
Sorry, I know this is a sudden request, but Sonia, let Zoya come with us. This rescue mission will be a long one. We can take care of each other along the way. You already know, Natalia. I talked to Rosa about it. Don't sweat it, Zoya. This isn't our first joint trip.
I can't believe Absinthe is real. They remember that certain characters exist. Oh. Kilby jump scare.
Kilby, wait, the cookie's still raw a bit in the middle. Huh? No, stop her! She'll give herself a tummy ache.
Politely stops her. Beepy.
I'm gonna be late.
Where's she going?
spins angrily. Kay made so many cookies. Those cookies should go to very, very good people. Lots of wonderful people are setting out on a journey. They took good care of Kay at home, so Kay wants to make sure they don't go hungry. That's the deal. Meanwhile, the Dungeon Meshi crew. She just stalks them all throughout their adventure. Fallen!
Doctor, the copy rooms on each floor have been packed with people these past few days. This round of field deployments going out to many different regions is a perfect opportunity for us to pick up local souvenirs. The wish list everyone's been making are long enough to start a whole Terran Expo.
Bro, this is so convenient. So many operators are going out on long field missions. Leaving Rhodes Island. Man, that's very convenient. I'm assuming Fang's crew is also gonna set off for Bolivar by this time.
In the past, closure suggested that the procurement department make unified purchases for the operators, but I rejected the idea. Let's keep the spirit of the tradition alive. Procurement will be sending out a notice soon regarding reimbursement. You need me to bring you back anything from my trip to Victoria?
Kelsey shakes her head. She looks at the cookies Falnick is holding with a bit of suspicion.
Kelby shoved these cookies at me just now. She just made a gigantic mess in the kitchen, and Mia is still trying to help clean it up. Poor Mia. Olnik, you're going to have your hands full in this trip to Victoria. In addition, recovering data from several offices in the Ducal territories, you'll have to monitor Nezeru and read.
Yo! Also, I just realized, this is like the first full-fledged event that we've had Fallenik back relevant in ever since Twilight of Volumund. That's been... Wait a minute. No. When does Twilight of Volumund take place? Is this before or after Twilight of Volumund? Twilight of Volumund kicks off... It kicks off the Seaborn Saga. And the Seaborn Saga takes place later in the Arknights timeline. This could this could take place anywhere, before or after Twilight.
You'll have to coordinate with the different offices to provide her as much support as possible.
Of course.
And Londinium? Let Heidi know that we're temporarily delaying our return to the ship for debriefing. Ever since Londinium's parliament restored contact with the outside world, it has resumed collecting messages from the coronations. The intelligence network that Heidi has been cultivating is extremely important. This is also why I'm sending you to provide support.
So overall, things aren't really that great.
I see. I'll pay close attention to all this. Volnik, you need to take it easier.
What?
You have a habit of overloading yourself. I saw your itinerary. You're stretching yourself too thin. I deleted a few of the tasks. Try not to dwell on the things you fear, and try not to force yourself to take control of them either. Volnik, I never expected you to be like your mother. Or me. I don't support encouraging those who have experienced suffering to forget the hatred and violence they've endured. If we want to build a better future, we mustn't surrender.
Hypergriff, why are you giving her lines like this? I know you're not gonna permanently kill off Kelsey. You're setting her up. You're setting her up like this.
Try to slow down your pace a bit, Volnik. Wanting to have more control over your life is good, but getting all anxious about it is tantamount to self-torture. It's a long road to Victoria, but I need you to remember the smile you had when you first walked into the room. This is my one and only requirement for you.
I'll remember that. I'll pick out a souvenir for you myself when I get to Victoria. We were just there, well, 3 years ago.
Farewell, Dr. Kelsey.
We're just setting up the next stages of the story. It's like, we got Ursus, we got Fallenik and Victoria.
Red, you don't need to hide.
Is this... Are we gonna see how Red asks for permission to head to Siracusa? It's also setting up Siracusa! Oh my god. I was afraid you would be angry. You told me not to be sad about Siracusa, but I made you sad. I don't want to leave Rhodes Island this time. I'm afraid you'll force me. I haven't prepared the transporter for sweep yet, Red. Stay here on standby. Ascalon's orders will arrive soon. After we receive the orders, can I stay by your side? Yes, didn't you arrive some time ago? Yes, I arrived a while ago.
Savage!
Aunt Gemma and Mom prepared these canned golden radishes for me to hand out to my colleagues. Sorry, there might be a few too many of them. Should we maybe store them in the kitchen first?
There's a veritable mountain of cans here.
I'll leave them with you. All this stuff happened all of a sudden. It's been too long since I've been home. Mom's stockpile of canned goods is getting out of control. She just keeps dumping them on me over and over.
Didn't you just tell me they were prepared specifically for our colleagues, not for you?
Yeah, right. Anyways, they're all mine. I'll decide how they're used. Doctor, might I trouble you to help me distribute these to our colleagues when you see them? Army's on a tight schedule and I don't have time to do it myself. Oh right, the 2 cans with names on them, I saved them for you and Amiya. Don't give them out by mistake.
They more or less look the same.
You... Of course they're not the same. Alright. I'll also need to take 30 cans on my own trip.
For your own supplies?
No, as gifts. Army and Ray have an old friend, Jerry, ever since he married Kiara. His career has taken off.
Jerry, our old pal! They both got married and they're happy. And they're thriving.
I saw the last photo he sent. His family has been blessed with quite a litter of kids lately.
Jesus Christ. Bunny people on Terra. Never knew you had that much game.
Army made plans with us to stop and visit them on the way.
They mentioned this. Time really does fly.
And we haven't really changed much, eh? Well, Amiya sure does seem like she's matured a lot ever since she returned from Kazdel.
Please take care of Warmy and Ray.
I'm well aware of the situation in Rimbilton. We'll make sure they're cared for. Still, this field assignment covers a pretty wide area. I'm afraid it'll be quite a while before I can sleep soundly in my own bed again.
Hello, Mr. Nothing. We're currently saying farewell to a few operators, going on their field operations. Very convenient that they're safely leaving Rhodes Island for the foreseeable future. Don't worry, Rhodes Island will wait for you to return. Eyebrow raise.
Righto! Keep the lights on for me, Doctor.
I did say that they were gonna... They were also gonna have to see Fang's group off.
Hey, what are you still doing here? I just thought of something. We still haven't been given our medicine health maintenance manuals yet. We need this guidance so that we can remember our health regimens. I mean, this is going to be a long trip abroad. Will we all remember to eat our meals and take our medicines?
Yep, they're setting up all of the future plot lines. And this is the one where we finally see whatever happens in Bolivar. What happens to the A1 girls? Is it A1 or A2? What happens to them in Bolivar? Finally, we're getting the plot line set up.
The medic operators will take care of all of that. Why are you worried about it?
Unless, of course, this isn't set up for Bolivar and it's set up for the Sui Saga. I think this might be set up for the Sui Saga instead, because we know that somewhere along the line, Lava finds Nyan, and then Hibiscus heads over to Lithanian. This is a setup for those plot lines. This really just is... Hold up, the main theme has finally caught up to current Arknights, and we have to weave it into all of the events that we've currently had. Because most of the events of
the side plots happen post Londinium crisis. So now we're just weaving it in. We're weaving the start of those plot lines. Whatever. Then there's the other members of A1. The squad is going to be taking on some different dangerous tasks. Cruz has to go on a long trip by herself. Yep, she's going to be part of Ling's plotline with Mr. Nothing. Will they be okay? Enough already. Will you quit treating them like children? He's also gonna have to find Dusk with Mr. Nothing. Yeah, this is just a setup for every single plotline that we have. We're adults already. I know, I get it. It's just that leaving a place I've spent so many years with everyone day in and day out, not knowing when I'll be back, it's a lot to take in. I just feel a bit empty inside. Don't worry, we'll be back. Rhodes Island is dealing with some stuff right now. I trust the doctor, Dr. Kelsey and Amia can handle it all. All we have to do is complete our tasks and be patient. Rhodes Island is our home, and we're not gonna lose our home. No matter what happens, we'll be back. Bro, this single chapter in this event has been like, oh yeah, we're doing renovations on Rhodes Island. Oh yeah, I can't wait to come back to Rhodes Island after our field operations are done. Definitely, surely that's gonna happen, guys. We'll definitely be back to Rhodes Island. We won't lose our home. Someday. Right. We'll be together again. Meanwhile, Warfarin. Your body temp hasn't come down. It seems like the old cocktail of drugs is no longer effective. However, your metabolic rate has not been impacted too much. After the concentration of the old drugs in your bloodstream goes down, I'll administer some new medications. These new drugs will decrease your pain threshold, but don't worry. I'll up your pain meds. Alright. There are a few new empty beds. They left yesterday. Don't worry, they were just transferred elsewhere for more targeted temporary treatment. By the way, a few people left some notes for you. They're in your bedside drawer. Your condition is rather unusual. You should try to keep you in a controlled treatment environment. Staying here with me under my observation is the best option. Okay, thank you. What are you looking at, Chloe? There are little circles on the ceiling that keep spinning. Looking at them makes me feel safe. Crystals are still interfering with your vision. My next surgery will be an attempt to remove the crystals in your retinas. Every time I stare at them, they look like they've just crept a bit closer. It's like they're talking to me. Can you hear them? Their sound, it's like that old bell I used to hear. Hey, yo. Bell? We also heard a bell when we saw Kierda wake up on the spaceship. You mean the one you told me about before? From the bell tower in your hometown? There's more than just one bell tower. I was on a quest to repair all of them and had already repaired quite a few when they were just destroyed by cannon fire. I reached out to the operators we've got in Victoria. They looked into it for you. The town's been rebuilt and the locals have even repaired the old bell. That's great news. Now that the bell's tolling again, life can continue on. Quite a relief, isn't it? Warfarin double-checks the instrument readings one last time, then injects the prepared medicine into the IV system. The cat destroyed the house when they were gone. Spoilers. Not yet. The buzzing of the instruments mixes together with the noises of the IV system and Chloe's occasional gasps of pain. Dr. Warfarin, how many different types of medicine have we tried over the last 3 years? Chloe, wait, Chloe. I'm trying to remember if there was a Chloe during the Victorian saga. There might have been. This might be a Chloe that we've met before. Let me worry about that. All your vital indicators have stabilized. That's what's really important here.
Before I contracted oropathy, I often cared for infected soldiers in the bell tower. I know exactly what it means when the crystals start spreading across your skin.
Chloe tries to move the muscles in her face, but the tiny spikes embedded in her skin twist her expression. Her wounds split open, and bright beads of blood begin to seep out.
You see, they won't even let me smile. As a doctor, I cannot guarantee outcomes. I can only promise that every medic in Rhodes Island will provide you the best possible care. Thank you, Dr. Warfarin. I just miss my hometown. This report, The first time I saw this patient's charts, I thought there was some kind of error in the data too then. We checked the data several times. It was correct. By all logic, no patient with as high a cell or genium assimilation rate should still show any signs of life. It goes against everything we know about oropathy.
Hold up. What if Chloe's a Trojan horse? Hold up. What if Chloe's a Trojan horse for Priestess to get onto Rhodes Island?
And yet, the Originium is keeping the patient alive in a way no one could have predicted.
She's a carrier! Wait. She's definitely not asymptomatic. However, she's not dying. She's a carrier! Hold up. Is oropathy evolving? Or is this just Priestess Trojan horsing onto Rhodes Island?
Some of her internal organs have been completely crystallized, but they're functioning more efficiently and stably than previous patients we've seen.
Hey, yo! Is this how... Hold up. Is this how they eventually learn to live, to coexist with oropathy by Enfield? Because as far as we've seen from the Enfield betas, oropathy has been suppressed, but it hasn't been cured.
I haven't figured out what's causing this condition yet, but based on the data, the more her infection progresses, the healthier she seems, and the more pain she's in.
Well, less coexisting, more of, I don't know, suppressing the death part of oropathy. Suppressing the terminal part of the illness. Suffering, yes. Terminal, there's gonna be some suffering.
We've never seen a case like this before. This may be some new kind of mutated form of oropathy. We can make some sort of medical breakthrough while administering her treatment. Maybe these people we rescued from Victoria can really bring a few miracles to Rhodes Island.
A lot of things going on, a lot of setup. There's a woman acting as a carrier for oropathy. We're getting the starting of every single plot line we've had so far. 15-4. Brink of the Abyss. How do you measure the depth of an abyss? The answer and your own life hang upon the same thread. Preston!
Closure. I have the right to refuse the data module inspections and upgrades you are proposing. I will not be treated like EX and Lancet too. You know very well that I am different from my colleagues.
Yo! We get a third Closure reskin? Closure 3 years later time skip? You're finally gonna make her a flag bearer, right? You're gonna make her into a playable character flag bearer, right? Hypergriff? A flag bearer? Drone operator is too predictable. Flag bearer because of the Victorian saga.
Relax. I'm not trying to trick you into a module upgrade this time.
Then please restore the power supply to my mobility module. Restricting respected scholars' personal freedom is really unbecoming behavior. Take a look at the expression doodle on my faceplate. It indicates how I feel.
Or Tactician Vanguard. Oh, wait a minute, it can change. You mean that's not just doodled? Friston 3 could actually change the screen.
Angry. I am angry.
This won't take too much time. Justice Knight is already lined up waiting at the entrance. Hold up, what? Mr. Friston, I guarantee this maintenance will be quick. Alright, there we are.
You blocked me from accessing PRTS data.
Blocked you? No, I just disconnected you from PRTS. To be more precise, I physically removed your reception module. Looks like that went well enough. I thought there would be some irreparable failures. Okay, these are contingencies. They're just setting up for the fact that in the gameplay we fight Closure's modules because we assume Priestess takes over all of the Rhodes Island drones. And we're setting up that our playable character drones are getting disconnected from the PRTS system. Okay, got it. Plugging up the plot holes. Okay, Hypergraph, I see you. Friston's disconnected, Lancet disconnected, Justice Knight's disconnected. They won't be subjugated by Priestess.
Just did that without any sort of planning.
Oh, well, how do you feel now, Mr. Friston?
I recorded the entire experiment. You violated protocol, and I'll be discussing your negligence with Kelsey shortly. Not to mention your reckless disregard for my life. She'll hear about that too.
Mr. Friston, please do one more self-check and be certain you're not getting any transmissions from Priestess. PRTS.
Huh? Should be thankful nothing went wrong. I checked and I indeed cannot connect to PRTS any longer. Huh. It's like I have blurred vision. It's a very subtle feeling and I don't like it one bit.
Perfect.
Huh?
Now we can talk, Mr. Friston. Wait, what? If I wanted to disconnect all the retrofitted operation platforms from PRTS, would there be a safer way to do that?
I refuse to speculate about such dangerous work. That would be no different than killing all of my precious colleagues.
What if we had no other choice? Huh? Closure?
Please tell me what might cause you to draw such a conclusion. Have you discovered something?
Closure knew. Closure has known. That's why she's disconnecting the most important bots from PRTS. Closure, can you determine the cause of the last few PRTS operation errors? The logs show that most of the errors were caused by human error, operational mistakes made by team members. This again? Either way, backup systems are being deployed as quickly as possible. The framework for independent terminal command system has been upgraded as per Kelsey's suggestions. I've named it Zoo. Temporary admin permissions have been given to Dr. Kelsey and Amia. And me, of course. A lot of ideas I had when I first designed this system feel a bit outdated now. I really want to scrap it and start over, but Kelsey shot down the application. We don't have much time left. Can we seamlessly switch to the new terminal command system? PRTS is glitching out? Say it ain't so. I'm still working on that. We still have no way to replace PRTS's current role on Rhodes Island's daily operations. Much of our medical data and resource allocation calculations still rely on PRTS. But the biggest issue I'm facing now is how to construct a data center and energy hub reliable enough to support the new command system. Nothing comes close to what PRTS can do here, even while handling the massive high-precision computations Rhodes Island requires. It still has power to spare. Unfortunately, I still can't make sense of PRTS's underlying logic. Even Zoo, which completely mimics its design, keeps throwing errors in weird places you wouldn't think of. What if we use a num-num? Closure, I reviewed the comments you added to my report, and the theories you outlined in response. According to the Casdell office's logs and experimental results, there is, at least in theory, a possibility that Amnamnam could function as a data center and energy hub.
Wait. You mean to tell me that the reason that we might have a breach of security protocol at Rhodes Island, leading to a certain someone facing us in gameplay, is because the PRTS system was glitching out? We're trying to make a substitute system, and we thought of using a Num as a power source? The first Originium? Hold up. Hold up. But that's very risky. No shit.
But it's not like we haven't learned anything from all this. At least we verified there's a possibility of using Amnamnam for super long-range communications and data transfers.
We're playing with fire, dog. This is the first Originium.
Even though she's been informed in advance, Wishadel was still freaked out when your greeting showed up out of nowhere.
And the operators who went to assist Wishadel, are they settled in?
Everyone was surprised when they first got there. They assumed the city would be in worse shape. They found their footing quickly, and when the time came for midnight and me to head back, it was hard to say goodbye to the new friends we made. Doctor, do we really have to keep sending people out to various branch offices? I've never seen the ship as deserted as it is now.
Wow, that's a very convenient excuse to hold some conflict on Rhodes Island. The ship is scarce, you say? What about the patients? The children? At least the operators are gone, but we still got patients on Rhodes Island. That voice. We've come to a mutual understanding, Closure. Kelsey? We're sending more personnel to the regional offices, partly to reduce the number of people at risk in the event of an accident aboard the ship, and partly to ensure those offices can respond more effectively when needed. That is true. If we just keep all the operators at home base, it's less flexible than just having them stationed at branch offices. But also very convenient, considering it will reduce then the amount of people at risk in the event of an accident aboard the ship.
I know that, of course. I'm not just used to having to say goodbye to friends of all of a sudden. I don't know when it started, but my schedule was packed with farewell dinners now. Once the risks aboard the ship are cleared, it'll be up to you to decide when the operators return.
Ah, I see. It was also a pretense. So PRTS glitching out was also a pretense to send operators out on their field missions, and also to spark all the other events happening post Lindinium arc.
If everyone is here, then we'll start the meeting. Also, don't forget to delete the voice recordings and data logs from today. Wipe them from PRTS. From here on out, every decision we make will shape the future of Rhodes Island. We've reached a consensus. If we want to guarantee the safety of Rhodes Island's people and assets, there are certain decisions we can't avoid any longer.
Simplify the ship structure.
Yes. We need to segregate Rhodes Island's important resources and help the personnel stationed on the ship settle in. This will help ease the concerns of those stationed on the ship while also improving everyone's response time in the event of an emergency. But I still have some questions, Kelsey. This means we'll have to dismantle the vast majority of the ship's structure. Dr. Kelsey, did you accelerate Rhodes Island's defense planning only because of PRTS's recent irregularities? The recent irregularities have made one thing clear. PRTS is slowly spiraling out of control. And as time goes on, this will only accelerate. However, PRTS is only Rhodes Island's terminal of control. If it's no longer in our control, then who is it taking orders from? You're worried about internal threats? Mia, that possibility has always existed.
It's not an internal threat, dog. It's the most external of threats.
I trust you, Dr. Kelsey. Phew, what a headache. What do you think, Doctor?
I trust Kelsey's judgment. She and I have already rehearsed hundreds of contingency plans.
Okay, then what can I do, Kelsey?
You've already played a big role in the ship's reconstruction. The mechanical structures connecting the different core areas have been completely replaced with cyclic hydrocarbon prefabricated materials over the past 5 years. We can support a certain degree of modular disassembly.
A certain degree?
The power systems in the lower deck and the uppermost deck cannot be separated for now. When Rhodes Island was first excavated, the limitations of available technology and other constraints prevented us from restoring it to ideal condition. It wasn't until 7 years ago, when Closure and I drafted the blueprints for the restoration, that we discovered it would be very hard to modify Rhodes Island's structure. I'm pleasantly surprised that we've managed to do as much as we did. The catastrophe warning system in the medical center are particularly crucial modules. Both involve technologies that are not yet ready to be disclosed and are also hardest to deploy.
Ager, Columbia, Londinium.
It's risky, but well warranted. Leveraging Clementia and Gladia's private channels, we won't have to establish contact with the Ager authorities. I can ensure this matter is handled discreetly and properly. We might even be able to conduct technology transfers. I reckon that would make Warfarin happy. That is the path I believe we should take, Doctor. Ager, looking at all the factors, this is the best choice we could make. I will personally communicate with the Inquisition and Ager personnel to ensure the safe arrival of our own personnel and assets. Safe personnel and assets.
Okay. This is pre-Path of Life. Right? This seems pre-Path of Life. Sometimes I just want to pull up the Arknights wiki Terra timeline and just see where we're exactly at. Most of our patients have been... It's after? Okay, I'm pulling up the wiki. Where are we at? So, we're currently in 1101. Path of Life. Timeline events. Timeline. Where the fuck's the timeline page? Timeline. Enemies. They removed the timeline page? There it is. Timeline. Path of Life. Oh, it's after. Wait, no. Path of Life. Oh yeah, Path of Life happens in 1100. The game already has a timeline for you in game. We're in the middle of a story. We can't exactly check it in the middle of the game. Path of Life happened a year ago, prior to the story. Got it. Okay.
Most of our patients have now been temporarily placed in treatment facilities in various offices along with reinforcements. All that's left is for the remaining patients to be transferred to Ager once the medical center is operational again.
Leave this matter to me. The sport vehicle for long-distance patient transport is already prepared and ready to go. As for the transfer arrangements for logistics and engineering, I talked it over with my people and everyone was enthusiastic about temporarily moving to Gazdel.
Very convenient.
Many of them are old friends who stuck with us back then, and returning to Gazdel means a lot to them.
Yes, I talked to Wichidel before leaving Gazdel.
Babel will assign personnel to escort our people and our key assets throughout the entire journey. We'll be flying the banners of Babel in the military commission. The mercenaries won't dare try anything. And then there's the mining module. The militarized mining modules need to be handled with caution.
A long time ago, I purchased a semi-decommissioned mining ship from Rim Bilton and registered it under Rhodes Island's name. The ship's mining module can now be legally transferred to the new mining vessel to continue operations in Rim Bilton. At the same time, I placed an order on the market to buy the mining module. To hide your tracks?
Making any major changes in the short term is sure to attract attention, especially to our rivals, who will use the opportunity to use them against us. While calling it a refit and upgrade may be something most factions will accept, anybody with their own plans, the ones watching us more closely, won't be fooled. We need a few more sophisticated explanations. I stopped in Syracuse to resupply before returning to the ship, where I visited Vigil and Penance in Nova Volsini. They helped me dig into the current affairs of Nova Volsini. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. It's gone. I finished my coffee. As long as the family are not publicly pressuring Nova Volsini, City Hall will be able to protect us. I propose inserting a business department in Nova Volsini by means of investment. Establishing a cooperative relationship with City Hall will counter both overt and covert maneuvers from competing companies. Doctor, what do you think? I agree with Amiya. Perhaps we could establish some backup warehouses or supply stores. We can build a backup warehouse in Nova Volsini as well. The logistics system of Nova Volsini has changed a lot in the past year, and the port's cargo throughput is extremely impressive. So the reason we're having this long back and forth about contingencies for Rhodes Island is to set up that whatever happens to Rhodes Island during this episode, we'll have contingencies and systems in place to make sure the organization as a whole can still run. That's why we're having this back and forth. With City Hall's cooperation, it will be easier for us to conceal the transportation and storage of important assets. Doctor, let me handle coordination for the rest of the support facilities. There is one last painful task on the list. Everyone looks at the blueprints spread out in front of them as the command center falls silent. This is the key to everything we're doing. Kelsey points to the region in the center of the blueprints. The sarcophagus room, where you pulled Oracle out the very first time. Abyss. Abyss. On the blueprint, a new area has been added to what was a blank space in the central section of the mid-deck. Wait, what? What do you mean there's a new area that formed inside Rhodes Island? Abyss. Kelsey has never told you what this abyss really means. Oh, this is just a sarcophagus room. But you still have a vague feeling that this area marked on the blueprint, this area that has never been recorded by PRTS, is inextricably linked to you. It's the fucking sarcophagus room. A long time has passed since it was last opened. Even back then, when I had to get close to that place to bring back someone important, I didn't dare go into the deeper part. The one that's been sealed away all this time. There's a deeper part? Wait. There's a back rooms on Rhodes Island? However, now I'm not even sure what kind of changes have happened in there. As I just said, if the PRTS anomalies have a specific cause, then the Abyss must be involved somehow. Rhodes Island has a back rooms. Confirmed. How do you think we should deal with this section, Doctor? I haven't the slightest idea. We go in. I don't know. We need to go there and investigate. Dr. Kelsey, I can go with... I'll bring the doctor there myself. Mia, Closure, I need you two to make sure the surrounding areas are completely cleared off. Set up the first isolation zone around the Abyss itself, and a second within 1 kilometer of the ship. Jesus Christ. Hold up. It was a contingency. Sending off all the operators into the field was a contingency to keep them safe while we investigate the PRTS malfunctions and the Abyss. 1 kilometer! Ascalon and the elite operators will stay on board on standby. I need all other personnel on board to temporarily leave the ship and prepare for countermeasures. Okay, there we go! That goes the plot holes of if anything goes down, what about the patients? Are the patients gonna die? Everyone's leaving the ship while we investigate. While we do renovations. Okay, there we go. Mia, you and Closure must leave temporarily as well. Be prepared to activate our contingency plans at any time to deal with unexpected situations. How long do we have? Mass migration like this will be hard to get done in a short period of time. 15 days. During this period, you need to complete a full-body data scan and comparative analysis, Doctor.
I'll get it done.
Dr. Kelsey, what is actually in the Abyss anyway? The beginning of everything, and the end of everything.
Being vague yet again? Kelsey, I want to go to the Abyss and see it for myself. Kelsey seems to know why you want to do this and gives you a slight nod.
Alright. But please keep in mind, until we are fully prepared, we can conduct preliminary explorations on the periphery.
I'll be careful.
We can't go any deeper. I can't tell if getting closer to the core area of the Abyss will cause some unexpected changes. We're still some distance from the actual Abyss. I also don't have permission to open the way to the Abyss. I'm still trying, but to this point, I've made very little progress.
So you're saying this is where I first woke up on Terra?
Physically, yes, but your situation is a bit more complicated than that. Does coming here bring back any specific memories?
Nope. Theresa made sure of that. Theresa wiped our noggin, not a thought in this head. Just ramen, maybe. Some sort of test? Kelsey shakes her head.
I just want to confirm that you are in good health.
If we remembered anything, that means Oracle has their memories, and that would be horrible for the fate of Terra. Oracle has to make sure. Doctor has to be sure that they no longer have Oracle's memories.
After withdrawing from Londinium, our operations in Trimaus and Milarium inevitably forced us to confront the history of this land, and your history.
In the Originium assimilated universe, I caught a glimpse of my mission. Yeah, we entered Priestess throne world. Spaceship? Oh wait, no, here, on the plains.
The savior of this land. The destroyer of this land. Kelsey, I can't avoid it, nor do I have any reason to. Doctor, I stopped questioning your resolve long ago, which is the only reason we're here now.
Kelsey now has full trust in us. 6 years is all it took. In real life. It's all it took. 6 years, 15 episodes is all it took for Kelsey to have full belief in us now. That Doctor is no longer Oracle and wants to continue with the Originium program. I have a theory about the true nature of the Abyss. Is Priestess here? I don't know about being here physically.
This is why you chose to leave a me and Closure out of this conversation.
I still haven't figured out how to tell them. After all, I don't fully understand it yet either.
Yet, but we would have to prepare for it anyway, sooner or later. Amiya is still young, but every new trial we face helps her mature a little bit as a leader. You can always rely on Closure's knowledge and skill, and she's taking more responsibility over Rhodes Island as well. They are all worthy of your trust and reliance. They will stand by your side for a long time to come.
And so will you, because I know for sure, whatever happens to you in this episode, it's not going to be permanent. We know what your final goodbyes to Rhodes Island is like. The bloodline of combat believers. We stay believing. But right now we need to figure out what exactly is happening to PRTS.
Our experience in the assimilated universe left us with many unanswered questions, and ever since Theresa and Theresis joined forces to seize the first Originium, I felt uneasy about what's to come. Perhaps she has already awakened when Num arrived.
That was 3 years ago.
I cannot be completely certain. It is very likely that Theresis used some method I cannot trace to cut off the controller from the Originium. they delayed her arrival. I'm afraid delayed is not the most apt description for it. Nonetheless, I must admit that they did something I never imagined they'd do, and objectively speaking, they bought us more time. However, we will eventually awaken from our beautiful dream. It sounds like we have to open the abyss. Indeed. After all, PRTS is still operational to this day. Its core server and power sources are buried within the depths of the abyss. We can't touch them or analyze them. We can never be too cautious when dealing with such an unknown space. I'll share everything I currently know about it with everyone involved in the operation. I'm starting to think forward into time. I'm starting to think where the Imperiana Casdelia will become relevant to the story. Where the Ark will become relevant to the story. Bro, hold up. I'll hold this thought until we're done with everything. Just put a pin on the idea that in the future, when we get to Lone Trail 2 Electric Boogaloo, when we go back to GRAAAH, we're going to be developing the Flying City, the Imperiana Casdelia. Put a pin on that idea. And let's wait for how things turn out at the end of this episode. Can I help you with anything? No. For the version of you that exists now, even approaching these hazy fragments of the past takes a heavy toll. And right now, I have no way to help you shoulder that burden. Go help me and the others. Leave the abyss to me. If you choose to trust me, that is. Of course! I just want you to know. You're not alone here, Kelsey. Never been. Thank you for your concern, Doctor. I understand. Visitor, Kelsey. Hello, Kelsey. We meet again. You look like you need my help. I do. Please search for a technical document. Keyword, Slumber Bridge. Are you still there? I'm here. Sorry, Kelsey. I still can't output the answer you're looking for. You have crossed the line. I know. But we need it, Theresa. Huh? The evolution rate of Euripide is accelerating, and the threat from Originium is increasing. Rhodes Island must find a more effective method to respond to it. I get what you're saying, but I cannot provide what you're asking for, as your request violates the underlying logic of DWDB221E. But I do have a way to circumvent its limits, Kelsey. Deep dive. Back to the spaceship. She's talking with the civilized Eterna. At least they finally found a way to make its story relevant. It's like, oh guys, we brought back Theresa so she can be a marketing gacha game waifu that we could use to bring people to chapter 14. Oh wait, what do you mean we have to make her relevant to the story? Alright, got it. Right, civilized Eterna somewhere in chapter 15. We're back to the spaceship. Back with Hierda. Universe? Deep dive? What you're saying and what I've seen, it's all beyond my imagination. I have just far too many questions and opinions about this kingdom, but... Language. Yours. Cannot describe. Mine. Cannot explain. Commonality. Thought. Existence. Hack your thought. Hack your language. Thought is language. Follow me. Hey yo, that's looking a lot like the law. Bro? That looks a lot like the law from underneath the Vatican. The massive instrument instantly catches the goddess's attention. Her vision swims. The instrument distorts the light and her consciousness. To the goddess, it sometimes appears to spin faster than her eye can follow. Other times, it appears completely still.
No, it still appears to be moving. Very slowly. Very slowly.
She stops looking directly at the device that seems capable of devouring her consciousness, yet she still can't stop herself from falling over. The ice-cold co-traveler catches her. Thought. Resonance. Accept. It. Forsake. Resistance. Hear yourself. Hey yo. Death. The goddess instantly hears several different tones at once. She hears several foreign languages she can identify: Rimbilitonian, Ursine, Standard Victorian, and Gaulish, which she's only ever heard spoken by the clergy. But what she hears above all else is a strange language she's never heard before, a language made up of tones. Yet somehow she understands what the strange tones mean. Death.
I can understand you. How?
Thoughts can be anchored, and words can be deciphered. Language is a tool, a right, and one of the key elements that helps shape our existence. Anseta is one of the greatest inventions of our time. We've erased the barriers of language. We've bridged the gaps between civilizations.
That symbol.
An anchor for thought. The metascript that deciphers all known languages, and a tool for interpreting unknown languages. Death. That is the language that, up until now, you have thought the most about, Hierda.
Reincarnation. That is how you all communicate?
Communicating via voice is insufficient. However, it is very intriguing and a good way to express emotion. Many still stubbornly hold on to this tradition, deepening their emotional bonds with one another.
I don't fully understand you. Can you tell me where we are right now?
A ship that salvages death from the grave. We seek answers to the ultimate question among the ruins illuminated by light, before the same destruction befalls us. Peak, cinema, kino, cine, before death befalls us. The place you have visited, its master calls it Rhodes Island.
Oh! No! What? Yeah! Why, I'm losing my shit! Oh! I'm losing my shit, dog.
The goddess is confused. She's no longer confused by the strangeness of her surroundings. She's perplexed by a different question. How can a god die?
Hey, yo! Brink of the abyss. Alright, that's where we're ending today. That's the best place we could end today. A lot of things to think about. Also, my sanity is almost capped. They're on Rhodes Island. In space. We don't know when. When, though? We don't know when she arrived there. Hold up. There's a lot of thoughts going on in my mind right now. Rhodes Island, Imperionic Asdelia, the Ark. We'll see where this goes. So far, I think we're starting off this new era of Arknights with a banger. It's so compelling, dog. We're finally moving into
the cosmic era of Arknights, and not to say that, not to disparage the down-to-earth political nature of Arknights as a whole, because that's genuinely the heart of Arknights. It's the down-to-earth political nature of its stories, how human-centric its writing is. But you can't just help. I can't just help raise my hands and go peak. Cinema, Cine, as we start this new era, heading straight into the repercussions of everything that's gone on since the before times. We're getting into the Originium, the original Originium. We're heading into space. We're heading into the secrets that have been kept from us for so long, for 6 whole years. Unraveling all the mysteries, every single thread that has been set up in the last 6 years involving Oracle, Priestess, and kal'tsit. We're finally unraveling everything with this new saga of the main arc. But I feel like we're also gonna have... We're still gonna have down-to-earth plot lines. Like with the T's Ursus plotline with Reunion and the Ursus girls. But this is the shit I love. I love sci-fi, dog. This is also shit that I love, aside from the politics. We're getting eldritch, we're getting cosmic, we're getting philosophical about the nature of existence. I can't wait to continue and see what happens. But so far, my important note is... I will end on this last remaining note. And I'll probably keep reiterating this as we continue. As we continue reading through episode 15. I do not for a second believe that this will be the last time we see kal'tsit in the story. I do not believe that, because I will stay a Bloodline of Combat believer. I 100% believe whatever happens to kal'tsit in this episode will not be permanent, because we know how kal'tsit says her final farewell to Rhodes Island, the Doctor and Amiya. Bloodline of Combat believers, we stay believing until the last bit of our copium has run out. We believe kal'tsit will make it out until the very end, no matter whatever temporary setbacks will happen in episode 15. Huffing my copium. Anyway, that'll be that for today's story reading of the first few chapters of episode 15. We will be continuing next weekend, and then every weekend moving forward until we're done. Next Saturday, we'll be back. Tomorrow, we'll have some more Monster Prom Sundays. On Wednesday, I'm not sure, but I guess we have some time to either play more icebreaker games or go through the CC mode of episode 15. I don't know. We'll set it up. Anyway, thank you to everyone that stopped by and chat, chilled out, used as a second monitor content, and watched us read and react through the first few chapters of episode 15, Dissociative Recombination. Until our next stream, once again, my name is Nez, and thanks for watching. I'm gonna see you friendos next time. Bye-bye.